Hi, my name's Rich, and today I want to talk about the Mentor. It's a subclass that I've designed, and with this channel, I normally talk about the official subclasses. We review them, we go through what's good, what's bad, and try and help you guys out before you decide to play. But I thought it's been a year since I started this channel, and I really want to give something back to you guys. So I've started designing subclasses. I think I've got a little bit of experience, what works, what doesn't work, and what we should do to try and iron out all of the kinks. This subclass is free, and you can download it. There should be a link down below for the PDF. It's a one-page PDF. And yeah, the Mentor. We'll go through some of the background and my decisions, my design choices when I made the subclass. With the Fighter, a lot of the subclasses are designed around causing as much damage as possible or taking extra hits, or sometimes a bit of maneuverability. There are obvious exceptions like the Eldritch Knight, which specialise in like a Gish sort of wizard and fighter. But with this subclass, I wanted to try and make the Mentor something that was a support subclass. You're going to be in the front line, fighting, taking the damage, making sure that the heat is off the wizard and the more squishy classes. But at the same time, I wanted to be able to help out other people around the battlefield. And outside of combat as well. You find a way to help other people. When designing a subclass, the first thing, before I even think about which class it should be, is to think about the story. What story are you going to tell with this subclass? And I wanted something that was out of the ordinary. If you're a mentor, then the chances are you're a little bit older than the rest of the party, and theoretically a little bit wiser, and you're able to offer guidance, not the cantrip, but offer guidance to the other players and the other characters. When designing the subclass, I had about 25 different ideas for different abilities and ways to buff people up or reduce damage, things like that. And I think out of those 30, I picked the best ones and tried to organize them so they flowed well, they upgraded well in leveling up. You don't want something that's front-loaded, that's really powerful in the first 3 levels, and then by the time you get to level 17, there's no point continuing with the class. Also, with the level 3 ability, I wanted something that would scale up as you get better. As you gain levels, it'll scale up with you. I see with some abilities, the level 3 ability, it's great for the first 10 levels, but after level 10 or 11, there's no point using it. With this, it'll continue to get better and better. Think of it as a light version of the rogue sneak attack, but the difference is you don't deal the damage, you help someone else out, and they'll deal the damage. Another thing that's worth noting is that I wanted to help out the other players with the subclass, but I didn't want to add any healing abilities because I think other classes have that nailed down. You don't want to dilute the subclass too much, but this makes a great skill monkey. If you have lots of skills, ability checks, you can either do them yourself or you can help someone else out. So let's take a look at all the abilities. For the Mentor, at level 3, you get lead by example. Essentially, when you land an attack, you can give guidance to another player, and if they manage to land their attack, then they gain additional damage. And I think this is a great thematical way to show that you're guiding the other person, you're helping them out. Now, initially I wasn't sure if I should tie it to a long rest with a set amount, then I decided tying it to the proficiency bonus. I think this scales up reasonably well over time. So the dice may seem like it's not much, but I think that it's fair because with the rogue, that's their one main ability. And if I had it on par with the rogue, it would just be a little bit overpowered. But the extra damage always helps. And for level 3, I think that's a reasonable amount as well, 1d6. So 1d6 at level 3, 2d6 at 7, 3d6 at 10, and 4d6 at level 15. Now, at level 7, this is where the skill monkey portion of the subclass comes into play. I've made an ability called Venerable Guidance. When an ally within 30 feet of you is doing a skill check, and they're not proficient in something, then you can use your proficiency bonus to help them out. And I thought initially just doing the proficiency bonus was enough, but then I decided to add the charisma modifier as well. And this is a good way to make sure that you have a different ability to focus into. With the mentor, it'll give you a reason to boost up your charisma, and I think it works thematically. And roleplay-wise, having high charisma is probably a great thing to have as a mentor. Now, there was some debate whether this should be a bonus action or a reaction. We decided on reaction. Even though you're probably going to be using this a lot outside of combat, if we put it as a bonus action, it might be a bit too costly, but you still wanted to be able to use it in combat. Also at level 7, to accompany this, you get expertise. So when you take the fighter for the first couple of levels and you're not sure what to specialize in, this allows you to choose the skills you want. But when you hit level 7, this will give you some additional skill proficiencies. So you can kind of tailor make your character to support depending on what the weaknesses of the rest of the party are. And again, at level 10, you gain bonus proficiency with 2 other skills of your choice, or you can choose to swap out one of your old proficiencies. I think between level 3 and 15, the fighter has enough abilities given to it that'll help it be a melee beast in combat. And the out-of-combat abilities are going to make up for this. It's not just a one-dimensional character, you have some nuance to it. And you can choose how you want to roleplay it as well. There was some debate about whether to put the level 15 and level 18 abilities at a lower level. I decided that the level 15 ability, Stand in Formation, was quite powerful, so I put it in the level 15 slot. Now, depending on how the playtesting goes, I might swap out the bonus proficiencies at 10 and Stand in Formation at 15, because the bonus proficiencies, the longer you have it, the more you're going to get use out of it. I think the Standing in Formation, when you get to level 15, you're going to be needing as much help as you can get. It's a high level and you get high level abilities. And it gets an additional little boost when you get to level 18 as well. The aura is improved from 10 feet to 15 feet. Finally, I wanted to go with Mentor Sacrifice. It's level 18, it costs a reaction, and it's more of a cinematic moment. You can run up to one of your allies and jump in front of them, take the proverbial bullet, and shout, "Get down, Mr. President." Initially, I wasn't going to put resistance to the damage there, but I think that adding this on top of being able to take a bullet for someone is more balanced. At level 18, you're going to need as much help as you can get because there's some big cosmic allies out there. Now, I decided not to make this applicable to a dex saving throw and an area of effect spell because pushing someone out of an area of effect is just a little bit too powerful and is open for abuse by the players. So, I'd be more than excited to hear if you have any feedback about this subclass. What do you think works? What doesn't work? It's been homebrewed by me, so if you have any feedback, I'd love to hear it. This one's free, and you can download it over on the Patreon. And if there's any interest, I'd love to make some more subclasses. I already have a Warlock patron called The Monolith, which is quite interesting. You can find it over on the Patreon. I have a list of about 24 different subclasses I want to design. Hopefully, at the end of this, we can compile it into one big book, like a compendium of all of the different subclasses. I have to give a special mention to Krasiv, who helped me co-author the whole subclass. You can find a link to his blog and all of the rest of his details. I think he's got a Twitter as well. They'll be linked down below. A special shout out to the Patreon, well, specifically Frankie Frankenstein. They are the first person to subscribe to the Patreon, so thank you very much. Hopefully you'll have some other people helping you along the way soon. If you want to ask any more questions, then leave them down in the comments, or join the Discord where you can catch up with me every day. Well, my name's Rich, and thank you for watching. Bye.